There's a lot of hated art advice on the internet. A larger than acceptable amount of people hate the idea of flipping your screen and honestly improving overall. But just because something's hated doesn't mean it's wrong. Sex dimorphism is on such a list of controversial art practices. Now, what is sex dimorphism? Sex dimorphism, as defined by Britannica.com, is the differences in appearance between males and females of the same species, such as in color, shape, size, and structure, that are caused by the inheritance of one or the other sexual pattern in the genetic material. This phenomenon can be seen in a slew of different species: birds, fish, reptiles, and as you guessed, humans. And as humans do, it can be seen illustrated in art stretched across thousands of years and countries. We still do it now, and it seems like a lot of people hate it. Hey guys, it's Booksy back at again another video. Today we're talking about something that I see pop up quite often, and I've been wanting to make this video for a while because I do think it's a kind of a interesting topic that I don't see people talk about. So I hope you like the video. Like I said, don't forget to like and subscribe, and let's get right back into it. Every time I've seen someone create a tutorial on how to draw men or how to draw women, there's a crowd of people, Twitter, vehemently against the idea that you should draw two sexes differently, citing this practice as being on the lighter note restrictive and on the heavier note straight up transphobic. I want to talk about the validity of that claim. Is learning how to draw anatomy on people based on sex an outdated and restrictive ideology? Speaking of drawing, if you're a beginner artist or even intermediate artist, another resource for honing your craft is Skillshare, who are very kindly sponsoring this video. Social media can be toxic, and while Skillshare isn't necessarily a social media platform, it connects you to an active community bursting with creative people who want to grow with you. Skillshare allows you to explore almost any creative endeavor you can think of, from design to writing to starting a business. The platform is filled with so many options to amp up your career or even just start a new hobby. A class that caught my eye was this one, taught by Mariana Lustosa. It's a class about successfully publishing a picture book on Kickstarter. These classes are led by accomplished industry professionals who not only have the knowledge you need, but have it structured in a way that is far less overwhelming than just searching on the World Wide Web can be sometimes. Your creativity is worth exploring, even if you don't know where to start. And because of that, the first 500 people to use my link will get a 1-month free trial of Skillshare. If you're interested, join the community. Now let's get back to the video. Animation is a medium that's rich with exaggeration. There are so many examples I could pull up showcasing sex dimorphism. Hercules' neck is nearly double the size of Megara's waist. Women will have planets for eyes while the men get beads. Animals who don't even display human characteristics will suddenly have them if it allows them to be perceived more like whatever gender they are. This video is going to center around character design and storytelling. When it comes to character design, whether we are talking about shapes, most common in the design, or the color palette used, everything comes back to storytelling. How is this character being perceived, and how does that affect the narrative being pushed? If you are someone that is new to drawing, as we all have been at some point, these art tips for drawing the different sexes can be very helpful if you don't know why your character is looking off. When I was a baby artist, I drew women all the time. I only drew girls, but I didn't know how to draw male characters at all. They didn't look like the character I had in my head every time I tried to draw them. And once I learned the ins and outs of what we perceive as masculine, what we perceive as feminine, and how to implement it, I liked the work I was producing a lot more. Learning tips like fill trim length, length of the face, the shoulder to hip ratio, etc. Do I make every single character generic now? No. But I have more control over the final product and how it's perceived by people other than me. The core of the criticism is that women aren't always curvy. Some women are more blocky and vice versa, right? Like some men are curvy. The thing is, we need to keep in mind that these are bases for learning, and that every character you design ever doesn't need to abide by these guides until the day you perish. That's the fun thing about rules. They're made to be broken. You can see such a case with Louisa. Even though she's a young woman, she has practically Herculean shoulders, which match her otherworldly strength. One look at this character design and you're like, yeah, she's probably pretty strong. Another fun example is Mizu from Blue Eye Samurai. Mizu has a longer face and broader shoulders and isn't as curvaceous as the stereotypical woman. This design fits her character because she has a detachment from her femininity due to her having to pretend to be male since she was a child to survive. Akemi is a character from the same show, and in contrast to Mizu, she needs to use her femininity to survive. Her design is more traditionally feminine. all of these examples have a significant storytelling purpose for why these characters aren't given a generic, or why they are given a generic woman's body. And I don't believe you need to have a narrative person to draw a body in any way. What I do believe is understanding how certain traits are perceived by your audience will make you that much more effective as a visual storyteller. Now, there are times when sex dimorphism can be restrictive and can create uninteresting character designs. And a huge example of this is Light Fury from How to Train Your Dragon. Was it 3? One of those movies. Come on, guys. I'll put it on the screen. She looks like a recolored version of Toothless. Now, this was a choice. This isn't the fault of sex dimorphism. It's mostly the fault of whoever greenlit this. Something that comes to mind is how the head animator for Elsa from Frozen said that animating in that movie was very difficult due to how the two main characters were females and had a range of emotion that they had to animate without them looking anything less than pretty. But that's not the fault of sex dimorphism. That's just sexism. I don't know what to tell you. Bodies come in all different shapes and sizes. We know this to be true. And your body type doesn't always equate to your personality in real life. The thing about this conversation in reference to character design is character design doesn't create the connections. It just puts them together. A single artist doesn't just decide the color red evokes anger, so I'll use it for my hot-headed characters. That's just how people respond to the color. Characters meant to be soft and lovable are translated better with softer shapes than with angular ones. So when talking about how we view masculinity and femininity, there's gonna be some cultural and social influences baked in. Is the impression broad shoulders represent strength and wide hips represent fertility more cultural biological belief? When it comes to designing character, does the answer even matter? As it stands, my opinion is that these techniques have a firm place within the art toolkit. These are skills that every baby artist should learn. And as for the claim that it's restrictive, I think a lot of learning can be restrictive. Something you do in art school are still lifes, which is the tedious process of like drawing a bowl of fruit or something equally uninteresting. It's more of a technical process than a creative one. But do that for a couple months, and your rendering and drawing skills overall will greatly improve, because learned skills transcend the exercises you gain them in. That's it, folks. Spooksy signing out.